Arsenal as always, lads.
Obviously. Okay, yeah. Well, we started. I think it was you, Tom, wasn't it, mentioning about your dad and your uncles going to the matches, and it was always wish we'd never left Main Road, and we sort of chatted on from there. I must have no disregard, no disrespect to either of you guys. It is a shame Dave isn't joining us, because I'd have loved to have got his opinion on this, because I'm guessing he was there when Main Road was first built anyway. So he'd have seen it from like all the way through. And
but in 1953.
I mean, I've been to both, and I went to the Etihad actually before City moved in. I went watching the Commonwealth Games. And it was a good quality stadium, and it is a top state of the art facility. But in my opinion, it's nowhere near as good as Main Road. Main Road, I think, had everything. It's just, I think for those who went to Main Road and saw, not just, I mean, some people would have been there and they'd have seen us winning titles, at a time when we were winning, was it the European Cup Winners' Cup?
Yeah.
They'd have seen Paul Lake beat, and the match against the Scum, that was a proper good thrashing.
Demolition Derby.
5-1.
Yeah, the 5-1. I mean, my first match was in '97. It was against Oldham. And I'd got, in those days, we had like the Junior Blues, and you got like, I don't know, it was a discount or even a free ticket for your birthday. I went watching City versus Oldham, and Uwe Rosler scored the first and, the only goal of the game. And I remember when I got to the ground, I mean, the whole day was weird because I'd got my City shirt, and it was what, the Kappa. It was the first of the Kappa sort of selection.
Yeah.
And I hadn't got a name or number on that one, and I was in Manchester, and we went to the birthday shop, and I dragged my parents in there because I had a City and United sign outside it. So we went downstairs. I whipped my shirt off, and I was having it printed there. And then at the cashier's desk, I was just stood with no shirt on because I was like, I wanted the number on. But when I got to the ground, I just said to my dad, I was like, God, there's thousands of us. Because I went to school, it was all United fans, Liverpool fans. There was a Bolton fan taking the mick out of me. I thought it was just like me and my dad sat listening to it on the radio. And then I got there, and there's like 30 odd thousand City fans. And from that moment on, it was just like a love affair with the place. I used to love going. The whole atmosphere outside the ground, the little urchins on the bikes watching cars for a couple of quid. It's unbelievable. Even the food outside was great. It's like there's just something lacking at the Etihad that I don't like about it. I don't know what you guys.
Yeah, for me, you're absolutely spot on. The Etihad hasn't got a soul at the minute, and I say at the minute, it will in time. We've won some great things at the Etihad, and while we've been at the Etihad, but we also did the same during Main Road. And for me, the old style stadiums, they're obviously there's very much a lot of them that aren't fit for purpose anymore. And when we were looking, City were originally looking to expand Main Road in 2002 to 45,000 seater stadium, and it was just at a stage where obviously the Commonwealth Games, like you said, Chris, was coming to an end, and we got the opportunity to move across. And my brain tells me it's an absolute no-brainer to go to the Etihad, to the Commonwealth Stadium, the City of Manchester Stadium. It's an absolute no-brainer because obviously that's the next generation of where City want to be. The nice new stadium, everything's flash, everything's neat, tidy. But Main Road was very much the heart and soul of our club. I miss the little ginnels. We used to park at a church about a mile and a half away, called St. Crispin's. So we used to drive into the church car park, and people park in the car park, and we'd have to end up parking on the grass. Again, there's like one little old lady there with taking money to going in, or if you had your season ticket, you put it in your dashboard, and you walk through the little ginnels, and you get all the match day experience. These little ginnels that are no bigger than this room, they're tiny things, and you get in the atmosphere as you're walking up to the stadium, and the smell of fish and chips and beer and whatever else that people have been doing, as I'm sure you understand. And before you know it, you go down one ginnel, you go down another ginnel, and you just start walking down a Main Road, and before you know it, it gets to the end house, which always had the sign pinched off it. People used to always get ladders and rip the sign off the wall at Main Road. And you just come out to this stadium, this massive car park in front of it, and you see the main stand, and it was fantastic. What an experience that for me as a young lad going. And we used to sit in the main stand, so we used to walk up to the main stand itself, and these massive turnstiles which were bigger than me, city blue. You have to obviously put your ticket in. The guy clicks the thing with his pedal, and before you know, click, walk, and you walk into this. It was like a bomb shelter. It was brilliant. It was basically cement. It was all cement with pipe work above it. There was nothing British about it. You walk around the Etihad now. There's marketing. There's pictures. It's all flash. It's all made for the younger generation to catch the eye, to sell shirts, etc. And your heroes and stuff like that. But there's nothing like that. The only thing we had was the odd fire hydrant, fire extinguisher on the wall, one of the round one, with the hose pipe on it. And the sign for the bar, which was basically telling you what to say. And the queue for the bar was always massive. It was ridiculous. Like 3 old ladies behind the counter serving you. You knew you were pushed for time anyway. You have to get in this queue, and then before you know it, you get yourself a pie and a pint or whatever your poison was, and you queued up. And the best thing about this, we had the seats. I had my granddad's season ticket, and we had those seats for decades. The best thing about that is I grew up knowing the people that their kids, when they all the families around us, all the families that went to the ground, we all grew up together. We all knew each other. If I see somebody in the street now, I'll recognise them in an absolute instant. We don't have that at the Etihad at the moment.
No,
because it's so chop and change. The best thing about going to the Etihad was the community spirit of the people around us. We knew everybody in there. There used to be an old fella that sat in front of me smoking a pipe. Honestly, I've always wanted to try a pipe since I've gone there. It was absolutely amazing. And we had fantastic seats on the just to the right of the halfway line. We walk up the stairs. The stadium's there. It's perfect. I've got a picture of it, my view over there. I'll have to show you later. And it was brilliant. The whole experience of it. You win, lose or draw. You go. You have fun. You finish. You go home. And for me, I don't have that same feeling of going to the Etihad. I'm going to watch City, yeah, granted, but it don't feel like a home place to me at the moment. There's no soul to it. It's hard to describe, really. Hard to put my finger on.
I've got to agree with you. Like I said before on this, I'm on fence really. I was lucky enough to experience a few games at Maine Road, but when we moved to the Etihad, I was only 12, so that has been me. But I mean, I've been a season ticket holder that long, and I'd have probably never changed my seat if I didn't have an altercation with the police and had to move. That's a different story. But I still see people who, like you said, that I used to sit with and I chat to them, and it's like, oh, do you remember so and so? Do you remember doing this? Do you remember doing that? A brilliant time with my season ticket where I was next to away fans, and that's how I felt. But obviously, I stopped having my season ticket when my son was born, so I could spend some bit more family time. And now it does feel empty. I still go a lot, but you're never in the same seat. You can't. You can never get a seat next to your mate. If you and your mate decide to go.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, when we moved to the City of Manchester Stadium, I don't think there were many City fans gutted about it. I don't think there were many City fans going, we shouldn't be moving. I think everybody thought this was going to be a progression. I don't know how you felt, but from the people I grew up with, people were excited to move to this new stadium. But there's no manual saying, when you move to a new ground, this is how to do it to keep the fans together. It was just like a free-for-all, get your tickets anywhere. And the singing section, the groups, all just got split up. And, I mean, how long we've been there now? Over 10... How long have we been there now? 18 years?
We moved in 2003.
Yes, well, it's over 15 years, isn't it? Over 15
So 17 years, and it's still a crap atmosphere. It's still a mismatch. And, I went to... the League Cup game against Southampton this season, and that Man City group, 1894 group, brilliant, trying to organise a singing section, saying, get tickets near here, this is going to be a singing section. You get there, City's over-stewarded it. You can't sit there, you can't move about, you can't be standing up. And you think, you're never going to get an atmosphere. I know they're probably thinking of safety, but that it's just too, like you say, soulless.
No, it's true that, and it's hard to try and replicate that, and it'll take a long time to replicate that if we ever will. You know, when we used to, it's hard. There's a lot of communities. When you went to Maine Road, Dan, did you say you had the same seats?
No. I were only young. I used to go to one off with my father, like.
So I was 21 when we left the Etihad, left Maine Road. So
how old?
Yeah.
But when I had my season ticket at Etihad, City Manchester, I was originally in Colin Bell, right at back, and then I moved to South Stand, level 2, like under the scoreboard, and I was there, like until 2015, and then I had a bit of an altercation, and then I had to move, like. But so we had a good few years there, so it was like a family, like you say.
We've had a point here coming from Ger Brown. Thanks, Ger. And he says it quite well. The fans make the ground, in my opinion. There has been a shift in our attitudes as a fan base and become, actually not spoiled, if you like. We've had some great days and nights at the Etihad. With most of the modern day stadiums suffer the same. Most of the modern day stadiums suffer the same problem. They do. You're right there. Maine Road was home, but we need to embrace our new home as we're not going back. Yeah, no, we never will. It's a perfect point. And how do we get that homely feel? I think it's just time. I think it's just going to have to be time. Into when we first moved to the Maine Road in 1923. I wish I could go back in time and see what the people thought about it then. You know, moving from High Road to the Main Road.
Well, that's why we needed Dave on, because I heard you were raging when they stopped calling him Gorton.
He's got the old St. Mark's shirt, the black.
I must admit, I think the new stadium, I think, has got. I mean, this is obviously only my opinion, and it sounds harsh, but I do want to. I'm going to crucify it at some point tonight. But I just want to know what Fielden's opinion is, because obviously, Dan, you pretty much only know the Etihad. But when your first, everyone remembers their first game. What was your impression when you got there?
So yeah, I mean, my first full season supporting City was the first full season at the Etihad. So how were you guys on about in your teens and 20s when you were going to the Main Road, and when we swapped over, I was only 6 or 7. But for me, like you say, the Etihad is home for me. I've never known any different. Obviously, I've heard thousands and thousands of stories of people's, games, times, experiences at Main Road, and I would love to have been even at one of them games, because it sounds like it was the absolute place to be. But for me, I was more the away games before I went to any home games. I think one of my last away games was that 2-1 loss against Hull prior, because they just never had a chance to go. But I always remember, because I've gone to a lot of games in the past couple of seasons, but my first proper run of fixtures was the FA Cup triumph, particularly the games against Notts County, Leicester City, and I can't remember who else now, but the Blackpool 1-0 win New Year's Day in 2011. All 3 of those games, I was sat in all 3 tiers of the East Stand, and I've never felt more at home. I was surrounded by completely different people, mainly of Halifax's style. They've obviously been to Boozy a few hours before, but they're all welcoming. I mean, I was young at the time when I went, and they're all like, "Where have you come from?" I go, "So from York." And York, what are you coming from here from? And then you just sit down, and half the time you're not even watching the football because you're having a good natter with these people. But the only thing that's ruining the Etihad for me in this day and age, and I don't want to bring it on because of all what's happening around the world right now, is the people, the supporters, the new supporters didn't know. I mean, I got to experience before we started winning everything after Maine Road, so I still have that. You know, I didn't have the stadium feel, but it's. I went to the Zagreb game at home, and there was a lot of. Well, I'll say it. There were a lot of foreign fans there. You know, never. This is obviously the first time they've ever come across to Manchester. Some of them. I mean, I chatted to one of them. It's the first time he's ever heard of Manchester about a month prior to the game. So how we got tickets, I don't know. But nearly 9 times out of 10, they're either all recording the game on the phones and not cheering. When you got up, I mean, there was a couple of die-hard City fans I was sat next to. Me and my stepdad went to him. We'd get up and cheer. And we didn't have to be scoring a goal. We'd be cheering every minute of the game. And we were told to sit down by the majority of them. You know, we're told we're not allowed to cheer out like that.
That pisses me off.
I think that's the main fundamental problem with inside the stadium. We're not allowed to do an old traditional English football stadium without somebody complaining.
No.
I mean, I were at that game, and I were at 10. I think it's 101. It's South Stand, level 1, right near corner flag, right near away fans, and we had a right good laugh. We all had shirts off, singing, and it was right good. But all the time, stewards were like, "Right, that's it. You're gonna get banned. You're getting banned. You're getting banned. You're gonna get thrown out." And it just kills the atmosphere. I know they've got to do it for safety, but I still had a decent laugh, though. I've got to tell you that, lads.
Man, but you got some stories to tell there.
Yeah, it was a decent day. But like Dan says, I've been in fact, like, I won tickets to watch City v Schalke. I think it was Phil Foden scored. Might be Phil Foden, but whoever scored.
Yeah.
All players run over, celebrating right in front of me. Me and my mates jumping up, like, cheering. People telling us to sit down. And there's, like, our heroes, these multi-million-pound players that we're all idolising, 2 foot away from me. And there's these mardy arse and these English fans telling me to sit down. And you think, what are you coming to the football for? If you may as well watch it on Sky.
Yeah. Completely agree.
What area the stand were you in?
I were in family stand that game, because that's where I got given free tickets. I wouldn't normally go there, but I were, like, say, probably about 5 rows back, near corner flag again.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. So the first thing that jumps to mind there, it's hard, because not every fan's the same. I think we can settle that out, can't we, straight away? And are the club trying to, and can they cater for each of the individual types of fans? So you got your type of fan, Dan, that would be stand on the feet all the game. Now, I'll be brutally honest. The idea of standing up for 105 minutes does not go down well for me whatsoever. I would rather sit down and jump up when something's happening. Don't get me wrong. If we're running through on goal, I'm up on my feet, just like every one of the other fans. Not everyone can do that. Not everyone will do that. So, like the family stand type things, they'll be a bit more relaxed car, maybe with kids, etc. But you've got the players that the team will be behind the goal. So it's all about arranging. It's all about arranging the fans into sections.
I was going to touch on this, and I agree with you 100%. And I'm not saying, like, that instance, something happened, we scored, the players were in front of us. Right? I know it was 7-0 or whatever, but me, if it were 10-0 and we scored on a 10th goal, I'd still be up celebrating. That's just me, and I'd expect other people to be. Now, I mean, because you've touched on that, I mean, when I go to match, I like a load of beer, having a load of laughs with lads, but I do occasionally take my family, and I know I can take my family to Etihad. We can get there early. They've got something on for kids. They've got a band on. They've got prize giveaways. We'll have a walk around stadium, go in club shop, and I know I'm going to get no hassle. Now, I see both sides of it, and I think one good thing I'd say about the Etihad is that for families, but it isn't football as I've grown up or the football as I know it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Chris?
Well, I'm guessing some of you saw my first the blue bubble that I did when I started that, and it was about the match day experience. And I mean, I've been lucky enough to go to both Maine Road and the Etihad. I've seen as when we were both shocking and good, both at the Etihad and at Maine Road. I mean, the first game I went to the Etihad was with my dad because he moved to Morocco not long after, basically when we moved to the Etihad. He moved out there and he came home and we went to the match. I think it was against Sunderland. And it was the one where Stephen Ireland scored and famously dropped his shorts. The Superman kicks. And it was just the whole atmosphere was dead. But for me, it isn't. I go to the football. Unfortunately, now, I mean, I've lost my season ticket, and I don't like talking about that because that's a painful experience for me. But when I try and go to at least a game a season. I mean, the main problem is finances, but I try and go. But the whole experience for me is just nothing like it was. It's like Tom was saying about, when you get there at Maine Road, it didn't matter which way you were going there, whether it was by bus, car, and walking it in. It was all those little streets, the smells, everything about it. Going through the turnstiles, I mean, I'd struggle now with my belly. I'm breathing in and out. I'd still struggle to get through. But everything about you get there, and there'd be the Burger vans outside selling the bloody clogs all for £2 or £3, and it'd be like just the smells and the sounds and everything. You'd have the guys outside with the posters all out ready, and it was just everything about it. There was an atmosphere outside the ground. You get there now, and when I used to have my season ticket, I used to say it every time it was dark, whether it was a midweek match or it was middle of winter and, we were leaving. You look at the Etihad, and from the outside, it looks... It's quite an attractive looking stadium. It's the same all the way around. It looks nice. If you notice, you've got the 4 sort of supporting structures on each side where the towers are. They used to have a little blue light on the top of them. Yeah. And over time, these bulbs have gone and no bugger's bothered replacing them. And I'm thinking, hold on a minute, we're the richest club in the world and we can't afford to change the sodding light bulbs. It just looks shit. It just looks crap. And you get in there and the bridge that goes over, it's the blue bit, it's a bloody death trap in winter, that. You got people slipping and sliding all over the place. You get to you've got the massive city superstore, but I mean, for me, it sounds like a proper moaning, but the price of everything these days, I mean, you can buy a replica shirt for £60, or you can buy the official match day player worn style shirt for £100 odd. I remember a full kit was £50 when I was younger.
That is inflation, though, Chris. I agree with you.
But I follow. Swansea City aren't charging those prices for kits. It's just because. Well, it's the same as anything. You pay for the name, not just the materials, and that's the problem. And I think the pricing. Man City fans have never been the richest and most flaunting with the cash.
It's proven
that. I think we're out the game.
I think we're.
But it's like even when you get inside, though. Like I know you were saying, Dan, it's for families. Most of the family stuff, from my point of view, is outside the ground. They have inflatable stuff out there. They've got face painting, which is fantastic. But you get in the ground. I remember at Maine Road, you'd go there. Keeper would come out with Alex Stepney. They'd put some crosses in, and then while Stepney was gathering some balls up to do a different drill, you'd have Nicky Weaver and Tommy Wright or Carlo Nash or whoever it was. They'd be straight behind the goal signing autographs. And then the players would come out and they'd start doing their warm-up, and then they'd have a little minute, a little breather while they were setting a new drill up, and they'd be over signing autographs. When was the last time you saw one of the City players sign an autograph at the game? They don't even go over the barriers anymore. And then you watch the first half, and then half time, it's just like a bit of music on the tannoy, a couple of highlights, and some guy waffling on. At the minute now, I've got one in the background. I've got the 2001 season review when we had Kevin Keegan. That is arguably my favourite season, because there was a match against Norwich City at home, and my dream came true. I was picked out the crowd by the lady who ran the Junior Blues, and I got to take a penalty at half time. I got on the pitch where my heroes had literally just been sliding around. Danny Tiato had just flattened someone on this set. And I get to go out there. And I smashed it past that giant sodding canary thing that they had. You know, and I was on the pitch, and even the pitch itself, that was grass. It was it was as good as Dan Fielden's lawn. You go there now, it's a carpet.
Yeah,
it's not even proper
wish.
grass. But my mate Tom, I used to go with his dad and his brother to City because they're City fans, and he's done like music tech and stuff. And he's pointed out the design of new stadiums, the acoustic effect of them ruins the atmosphere in itself. You look at the old classic English football grounds, and even Dortmund's ground, you know, that's famous for its atmosphere. It's that proper rigid square look.
Yeah.
A lot of the new modern stadiums are all these round, curvy things. It's like they've done the same with cars. It's all streamlined and smooth. And it's just, the atmosphere, it just isn't what it was. But I don't think the match day experience, I mean, we win games and we win trophies. That's fair enough. But it just feels like there's no, like Tom said, there's no soul. And to me, your football club, you don't pick a football club because you want to win stuff. That's what United fans used to do in the 90s. It's just like a relationship. We've all got wives. You don't want just something who's supermodel, who's just her face. You don't want just looks. You need the full experience. You've got to have that full love affair.
I know a lot of people that would argue with that, Chris.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking our last got the full card with me.
He's one lucky girl, Daniel. It's funny because when people say oh, we need to have safe standing is the key to all this, etc. The Etihad, Maine Road didn't have safe standing. You know, the atmosphere from Maine Road was built around groups of friends and families growing up together, going to the same seats, having the same seats year in, year out, and they knew exactly what they were going to get. If they didn't like the singing, they didn't like the standing, they'd move to the main stand or the north stand or whatever else it might be. And for me, the atmosphere will come, but it'll take time. We do need designated areas for people that like singing. The Kipax was a fantastic stadium. I only went to the Kipax twice, maybe, for cup games, because we used to have our seats in the main stand all the time for where we used to go, because that was our seats. Again, that family feel. We only ever went to where we knew, because obviously everyone around us knew each other. It was brilliant, part of the atmosphere. But I think the atmosphere, the Etihad, is lacking just because of time. We've not been there that long, I think there's more kids going to games these days than there was 20 odd years ago. I'm sure of that. I'm sure there's more families going these days than there used to be. Families
I'm not saying, not being sexist, it's more like, let's say, families with, they might take your wife, and your wife probably ain't going to be up. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know there is some women into football, but it's not like you say back in the day where it used to just be 10 blokes going together, all sat together, who can all start a song together. Do you get what I mean? You try and start a song on your own, and everyone's just turning around like, what's this dickhead doing? Do you know what I mean? And then, I mean, I always had a theory that, like, you go to Old Trafford, away fans are in that shitty little corner out way, but yet the whole of Old Trafford sings. Obviously, they've been around longer. Why didn't we put all the away fans just in a top corner at the south stand, the very top tier, and then designate
like a Newcastle.
designate the whole bottom 2 tiers of the south stand to sing in, and then don't over steward it so that if there's a spare seat, I can go nip and sit next to my mate or whatever, instead of like over stewarding it, like, oh, you can't sit in that. I know they've not turned up, but you can't sit there. I know it's probably not practical, and there's probably safety reasons behind that, but for me, that's what I think would really help.
It really infuriates me that we let the away fans sit close to the pitch.
Yeah.
Sod them off as far away from the pitch as possible. Get them to the top, the furthest possible area away from the actual fans. The actual players, sorry. Yeah, I completely agree with you that, Dan.
Just go back to your point on health and safety, Dad. I think that's one of the main factors. You know, I think City are trying, even a whole match day experience, I think we're trying too hard to make it like Maine Road, too hard to have a world-class atmosphere. And I think it's like what you said, push them all the away fans to the top and have that moving around. But I think today's world, especially football, is so hell-bent on health and safety. The fines that are implemented now for a club failing to steward health and safety is astronomical nowadays, even for the likes of City, who've got billionaire owners. It's impossible to do right from wrong, and there's no fine line. It is just a thick line of no can do type thing. But for me personally, I'm one of them that thought safe standing would do it. But I'm also one of these now that the success City have had in the past 10 years is another reason the Etihad isn't what it is. You go to a match day now, out of the full 90 minutes of the game being played, you're probably singing for about 10 minutes maximum nowadays, like a proper chant. The whole stadium starts going, come on City, come on City. Yeah. After about 30 seconds singing that, everyone sits down and is quiet. It's completely quiet. And I honestly thought safe standing would be it, but I think there's just an underlying problem of just the success now. That's part of my argument why I'd kind of hope this UEFA cast report throws the book at us, because then we'll just be focusing on us. We'll get in the likes of Phil Foden, maybe the likes of Tommy Doyle, proper Manchester-born lads who want to play for the club, and everybody cheers Phil Foden like he's Sergio Aguero scoring against QPR, don't they? He could do nothing all game. He could wander on with 1 minute to go, and we're cheering for the rest of the game for Phil whenever he gets the ball. And that's another thing for me. I'd love that.
I kind of think as well that, going to what Tom was saying about it's a lot of young, children, well, not children, but it's a lot of youth that go to the matches now. And I remember seeing it when I had my season ticket. There was a lot of young people, like a lot younger than I was, and I was only just in my 20s. But I think even that side of it, I don't think that gets addressed properly. Like when I was a kid going to matches, we had the Junior Blues, and they ran events outside the actual matches. So you'd have the pantomime.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure Jim Whitley. I know Mike McLean was in it. And the players. They used to have the players. I've been to the Christmas parties up at the top of the Kippax, and they had like Sean Goater and Paul Dick. I won a signed football. I've got it all signed from the team that got promoted from Division 2. Yeah. And I've got a picture of me somewhere. I'm stood next to Sean Goater and Paul Dickov, and it's like, these were my massive heroes. Could you imagine a Christmas party and Sergio Aguero and David Silva are there taking pictures? It just doesn't happen. So you've got these young kids who, like you said, they might support City because, the dad was a fan or their uncle was a fan or whatever, but they've no sort of connection with the club. It's just, this is the team we're supporting for whatever reason. We win stuff, we go to games. There's no serious connection. And even, like I said, I used to get tickets for your birthday or whatever. Those tickets you got allocated were in the corner at the end where the away fans were at Maine Road. The family stand now is the opposite end.
Do we know why the Junior Blues stopped?
I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was something Ian Cheeseman ran it, I think, and then I think the club sort of let him go for one reason or other. I don't know. I don't think I just think that's what happened. It just fizzled out.
We've had a point in from Jim Gormley. Thanks very much, Jim. Having the away fans at one end and home fans at the other, both sides of the pitch, will help generate a good atmosphere. Yeah, good point, pal. Here's another good point as well. This is kind of what I was getting to before, but I didn't want to put it as plainly as this. There's maybe more families, but certainly the percentage of groups of lads going to home games has fallen. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, well, we've touched on that, haven't we? I go on a minibus with 16 of us, right? All drink
some of the videos.
Yeah, all having a laugh, right? None of us sit together. None of us are sat together. It's too impossible to try and get a group of season tickets together. And that is down to the club, if you ask me. That is 100% down to the club making a farce of the season tickets. Bloody first come, first serve of a phone and that. It's just that is a major point. That is where the club's letting us down. Because even though we've been slagging it, the fans, you go to a away game, it is bouncing. I went to Leicester a couple of years ago in League Cup on a Tuesday night. One of the best atmospheres I've ever been. Joey and Lescott were like tweeting after that. I've never seen it like any ground like that. We were bouncing all game. So we've got it in us, but just can't seem to implement it.
Can I ask you a question about that? Has that got anything to... So obviously, when you and your 16 mates, you all buy season tickets separate, don't you?
Yeah.
If it all... I know it's easier said than done, because we're talking like 17, 18 grand. If it all came out of one purse...
No, right. So...
Would you get them together?
Right, so... we... you have to get your season... So, this is how we've always done it. Bear in mind, I've had a season ticket fucking donkey. So when we were shit and they were like, you could get one like that, I will go in from then. So then, when we were in Colin Bell, I were only like 13, 14. And I was like, I'm ready. I want to be down where it's all singing. So we managed to get 5 seats all together. Me and my dad, one of my best mate growing up, and my dad's best mate growing up, all sat together. And then, because we already had season tickets, they give you like a small window where you can move it before, like, so you say you 3 haven't renewed and you all sit together, there's a small window where you can move your seat, but it's only like a week or something like that. And then after that, if it's first come first serve, it's pretty much wherever you can get. So the supporters clubs get offered a season ticket at a reduced rate, but you can't pick your seat. So it's a reduced rate, say, I think it's £300, but you could be sat anywhere in ground and that's your season ticket. You have no choice on the matter.
Right.
But then the following season, you have this small window to move it where you want to. So you basically, like now, I could have got the 399 this season, but me and my mates were like, no, we'll just try and get one. So I'm on phone, I'm on internet, like 2 hours before it comes. They finally answered phone. Internet kicked me off. Answered phone. They've all gone. So what are you meant to do? Do you know what I mean? You've sort of like got a plan for a season ahead, and that's what I want to. Hopefully, going to do this season. I'm just going to get a season ticket anywhere, and then the season after, hopefully, be able to all get together. But you're still not guaranteed.
For season ticket holders, do they still do the fan surveys?
What, when they ask you questions?
Yeah, like at the end, to do with the match. Because I remember when I had my season ticket, every year they used to say about the match day experience and what could we do to improve and everything. I mean, I loved my season ticket. It was block 117, South Stand, and it was like I was literally 1 or 2 blocks away from the away fans.
Yeah,
and it was a great atmosphere. And because I was there, you could hear everything. It was proper loud, but if you just popped your head up for a minute, you noticed everywhere else was just sat down. The other 3 stands were just sat down. It was like a library. It was terrible. And I used to say that every year, but they've like you said, they've never tried to do anything about it.
I saw when I moved, because I moved other side of away fans and the middle tier at South Stand, and I actually got sat with that were a good group of lads and all, and. Then when I got rid of my season ticket, I actually seen the guy who used to sit next to at Wembley, and he come up to me and he went, honestly, since you've gone, it's like a fucking graveyard. He says, nobody's singing. And that's next to away fans. So what hope have we got? If
you had a magic wand to change it overnight, how would you do it?
Me personally, I'd move up. I think it's just trial and error, but I think definitely designating them 2 tiers of the South Stand to singing fans only, right, and giving it a better window to sort of book your tickets together. Do you know what I mean? Like, say me and you's been sat together for 5 years, we should be able to have priority to try and move there. And then that's the singing section. Away fans are above you, but nobody's next to them. Because that's another thing. People think they need to get next to the away fans to have a sing-song, when really we should just be having the section singing. They shouldn't have to be aimed at the away fans. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love having an away. I mean, I've had at City's ground, 6,000 Geordies all singing "You Fat Bastard" at me. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it is good to have a bit of banter between fans, but I think that's what we've got to move away from. We don't need to have banter, we just need to have songs and singing and passion. That's
Problem
my
with
view,
that,
anyway.
Problem with that, Dan. How many? What's the capacity of the South Stand, roughly, for the bottom two tiers?
I'm not sure, but
Talking about 6,000-7,000 at least, yeah.
But as you look at it's more than that. It's got to be, because as you look at the South Stand now, you've got 3 tiers of away fans, and they hardly most Premier League clubs don't fill it. United, Liverpool, Newcastle used to fill it, but they've dropped off a lot. Your Southamptons don't fill it. You know, Norwich today might. Burnley don't. Do you know what I mean? So just trial it with a club that isn't followed as. You know what I mean? Just trial it for a few games. Like, I mean, Everton always sell out. Villa, they sell out. But like, Norwichers, Brighton don't. Southampton, them 3 games, clock them 3 games, right? They're just going to be in the top at South Stand, and that's it. And then the rest is just going to be City fans.
See, my argument with putting all the singing, like having just one, like the South Stand as just the singing section, as it were, I just think you would end up literally then all the atmosphere will be at one end of the ground, and by the time it gets to the halfway line, it's fizzled out and it's bugger all at the other end. And I just think it'd be just.
I know your point with that. It'll just get to a stage where
everybody's doing it.
The South Stand will be saying, "We can't hear you, Colin Bell," and stuff like that. And then there will be certain sections of the Colin Bell that'll start singing, and that will generate, because that's very much of a. I know where you're going with Chris, and I definitely know where you're going, Dan. There's almost like a tribalism thing there. If the South Stand turns into the new Kippax and they're all singing, you can pretty much guarantee they'll start picking on all the other stands to start singing, and they will start singing just out of need to keep up with the Joneses.
I mean, this is a fact now, only because I've been there so long. One side of the South Stand has a go at the other side at South Stand for not singing, and they are in the fucking same stand with away fans in between them, and they're having to go at each other. That is a fact. So, why not just try and get them together and say, right, we're going like now, right? I mean, let's just say there's 6,000 to make it easy. There's 6,000 away fans on the bottom tier and the middle tier. So, beginning of next season, them 6,000 seats, whoever wants to go in the singing section, these are the 6,000 seats. Right, go. Get together with your mates. First come. It's going to have. Well, I've just been slagging first come, first serve off, but let's get it filled with people who are passionate about the singing. Yeah. Then it fills all them other shit seats in Colin Bell and all that for these families, for these like, I'll just go have a pint and watch football. I'm not bothered about singing. I feel like I've done a lot of talking on this point.
Yeah.
Good to hear it, pal.
Yeah. So yeah, I tell you what then, if there's anyone from like the 1894 or whatever, like listening now, watching this, get some like songbooks printed out and leave them on the seats or something, so everyone can sing. Something so we can all do the same thing, and at least get the South Stand all singing. You've just heard it now, Dan saying everyone in South Stand get singing. It's all right us saying it, but they need to do it on match day. You need to stand up and let your voices heard.
Not so
how long before we're throwing the pitch?
I don't mean right. Okay, gentlemen, let's turn to hymn number 3. We're not in South Wales, you know. It was this isn't rugby union. I'm not going that far. But just open your mouth and bloody sing.
Chris has got a bit of a point there. Like, I know we've already gone over it, but so there's 10 blokes going to match together, right? One of them's come up with a new song while at work. Gets on bus and says, lads, I've just come up with a belting song here. Tells them it all. Then they all know the words. Then you've got 10 lads starting a new song. And that and no joke, that is how easy it is. I come up with a song. I'm not sat near any of my mates. I'm just like next to bloody this kid here from York, Dan Fielden. Never met him before.
How'd you get?
I can match your singing potential, mate. Believe me.
Yeah, but you can't go right here, mate. This is lyrics. After 3, come on.
Thing is, personally, I'd love that. I love voicing it. You know, I mean, there was a middle of, I think it was a Zagreb game. I shouted, "Come on, City!" when it was all quiet. Woman in front of me turned around, "Oh, Jesus, you scared me." I'm like, "You're at a football game, love." What are you expecting? You know, I'd love that. I'd love to just stand up and just belt one out.
Yeah.
Singing,
See, I work with a load of Wigan Athletic fans, and I remember the. Did you everyone see the video that went around social media of that guy who came up with the Will Griggs on Fire song?
Yeah.
And that was literally just him sat at home, and he just posted it on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and now I mean, you saw the reception Will Grigg got from when they came home from the international matches. He didn't even play for the team during the competition, and the whole crowd was bouncing. Maybe Manchester is Blue should run like a song competition, like all the fans to send in their new ideas.
Oh, I love that.
Whichever one's like the best one, we promote it. Everyone starts singing it, and there you go. You become an internet sensation. You solve the problem at the Etihad. Everyone's a winner.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. A monthly or weekly song competition.
Yeah, I can already hear one now. Instead of Sweet Home Alabama, we've got a Sweet Pep Guardiola. There you go. Someone run one.
You know that? I will say this as well for that 1894 group. Or no, I always get it wrong. But anyway, it's a thankless task what they are doing. They are trying to generate a atmosphere. They're getting these flags. People don't realise they have to get these flags from a bin. Somebody has to go there early, put them out, say, put the signs up, please return the flags. And then you get some fucking knobhead on Twitter that's never been Etihad going, oh, it's dead shit, that, mate. Oh, what dub and all that. And you think they don't understand the effort people are putting in to try and make it better. And then they just fucking slag it off. I mean, I've been chatting to one of the lads from that, and I've been thinking about getting him on pod. So if he's listening, you're more than welcome to come on. I can't remember his name now.
Yeah. On that point, Dan, I'll tell you what, I'm sure we'll all agree, and I think I'll speak for every City fan. Well done to them for that massive banner that they unveiled. Yeah. A massive fuck you to UEFA. And it was with the Muppets as well. Yeah. Everyone knows that the best Christmas story is A Christmas Carol. And the only way you can improve it was with the Muppets. Yes. They've got the best message for UEFA and made it better with the Muppets. You couldn't. Well done. Absolute well done to all of you.
People slagging that off, right? It's same again. You're looking at a load of blokes stretching it out on the field. Imagine that coming down for all fans waving it. That makes it. I like that when it says FFP. Where were you when we were shit?
Yeah.
that needs to be sung at the matches, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it's things like that. It just that whole band. As soon as it came out, I was in stitches, and I thought, you know what? Like you said, you look at it, and you think, oh, that's the message. FFP, where were you when we were shit, and stop City. But then it's only when you actually sit down and think about it that is literally just a bunch of City fans chatting on social media, messaging each other that have managed to arrange that. I mean, they raised thousands to do that.
And you've got us now, all over the country. We've got Dave, our admin, in America, and that's the same thing. It's not like they all live next door to each other. Like, all right, we'll all meet up. They're all probably doing it same as us, trying to find. Yeah. So, because where do you go to get that size sheet printed?
It's not something you can just get off the roll, is it?
No.
Can you remember any big banners like that at Maine Road?
No.
I'm sure they used to bring a flag out, I think, at one point, and I don't remember what was on it because it was the only time I was under one of them, and we're kind of looked like, what is this? It's just a big blue thing that we're just throwing over our heads, and it was amazing. But I missed what it actually said on it. But it only used to come out at like real special occasions.
Yeah, my mate. I mean, I posted pictures of his museum. It's not exactly one of them, but he's got the centre circle from Manchester Derby in his garden, and that is absolutely massive. Shout out Gary Brough.
We're digressing a bit here, aren't we? Since the for the Main Road versus Etihad, and I think one thing that's jumped to mind straight away is the majority of this conversation we've been talking about the atmosphere. So when we go, it's all about the atmosphere. It's all about, the experience of going into it, and that's. I think we all agree that if we could take the atmosphere from what me and Dan used to have and Dave from Main Road and bring it to the Etihad, we're onto a winning combination. It's just how we convert the two things into one, which it's easier said than done. And It's just not going to happen overnight, is it?
No.
But what the problem for me is why I remember being at the Hamburg game,
Bouncing.
and I mean I think that all started. I remember that because I was we bought tickets that didn't come with the season, and we were in the Colin Bell stand, and they turned the lights off just before the game. I was like, "What's going on?" And then the next minute, the Blue Moon was in the centre circle, and they started raising it up over the stand.
I used to love that. They did that.
And Jesus Christ, the atmosphere. It was. I mean, you know, a little bit of We came out. It was that buzzing. It was proper immense, and like the hairs was tingling on back of your neck, and it was a proper serious. From that moment on till the final whistle, we didn't stop. We kicked every single fan in that stadium. Kicked every ball on the pitch, and I've not seen it like that since.
Another thing with that was, what were it called, that forum? With Blue Moon Forum or something?
Yeah, Blue Moon. Yeah.
They did a massive push about that game, telling people, bring inflatables, bring your singing voice, we are going for it. Massive, massive, massive. That's why there were bloody paddling pools floating about and bloody giant dinosaurs and that again. But that's what they did. They just did a big push and people got onto it. I mean, it's weird social media in it, because one thing takes off and then we could be pushing it all season and it never bite.
Yeah.
So I think it was just a boiling pot that we sort of all came together at once. It was bouncing at the Tottenham game as well in Champions League. That was a decent atmosphere. I took my mate's little lad to that game, and we were in family stand, and even that were absolutely bouncing, singing, everybody stood up.
Mm-hmm.
Just fucking football let us down.
Well, VAR, to be fair.
Oh, yeah.
But I think
you could do.
The good thing about social media is it does make it easier, I think, to get the message out and to try and encourage something. Whether it picks up or not is one thing, but I think it's one of those things. Literally, anyone can just do it. Anyone can post on our website. Anyone can comment on this, and look how many people will see it. I mean, we've got close to 100,000 followers.
Yeah,
you can't just do that shouting out in the street with a megaphone.
No,
you know.
What were you saying, Dan?
If I'm honest, I can't completely agree with Chris. That was a similar point to what I was going to make. We've got the output. Just, I think City, in a sense, need to listen. We've got the people on the match day experience. We do the halftime on the pitch stuff. We've got the guys and girls outside doing all the work they need to do and trying to get everyone involved. I just think, go back to my point, I think we're just trying a bit too hard. I think City are trying too hard. I think they just need to hold almost like a group session with a load of fans, just get a load of fans come and just hear the views, even if there's 10,000 fans there, listen to as many as you can, because we've all got opinions, and I guarantee majority of us will all have the same opinion and of ways to improve it. Even if it's like to bring back Junior Blues, in the sense like we give a load of younger City fans a whip and dress up as mini moonbeams and go whip anybody to go, look, you're not singing, get up, sing and hit them, give them a lot of job.
The thing is though, I know I've been going on about atmosphere, but it's not so much that everybody needs to sing. It just needs to be more than 20%. And I think that'd be the massive difference. I mean, like Tom's saying, some people go to match, they're not bothered about singing, they're not bothered about getting up and roping about and all that. So that you can't force them, but it just needs to have that extra 20-25% of the stadium up for it, then it'd be so much better.
Well, that's the point, though. That's the taboo. I mean, we've all experienced it. When we stand up and chant or sing, we've always got those ones sat next to us like, seriously, what are you doing? Or shut up, or whatever. They're either too busy on the phones, or they're too busy chatting, or just not paying attention to the game, or can't be asked half of the time. Some of it, just the modern day football fan in some retrospect. But you can't change that, can you? It's who they are. It's like you're saying, you can't force somebody to do something, but at the same time, they wouldn't like to be forced to sing. They wouldn't like to be forced to chant. But why should we be forced to be quiet because they don't want us to?
Yeah.
And that's the 50-50 thing.
Do you know what? You just reminded me there, Dan, about every time I go to Wembley, and I'm very lucky enough to be able to go to Wembley. I'll stick a little caveat in that. When I'm sat down and I'm watching the game, this is going to sound dreadful. There's always a knobhead about 5 rows in front of me that's turning around going, "Come on, I can't hear you." He's always pissed, guaranteed. I can't hear you sing. And he's singing in front of there's a family sat behind him thinking, "Well, this knobhead, shut up and sit down." We're all singing.
Halifax.
Because that's how you met Halifax.
Every time there's always, "We're at Wembley, you should be singing." I said, "I will be singing." You know, it's not, you don't demand somebody sings. I sing when I'm bloody well good and proper to do it. It pisses me off every time. Every time I go, there's always some clown there. "Come on, you should be singing," and he's stood there on his own. It's just like, mate, if you can look back at yourself tomorrow morning, you look like a right pillock.
But that's the 50-50 though. That's what I was saying. That's the 50-50. There's too big a divide in fans. There's not that fan in the middle anymore that just goes, "Oh, I'll sing when I want. I won't get you involved. I'll sing, I'll chant, I'll say, 'Come on, City,' clap my hands and do everything." But that's the divide. There's no middle fan. You either do it or you don't. You know.
No,
What we need is Ellen the Bell.
Yeah.
Because if she weren't doing as you were told, she'd tell you and you just did it.
Yeah.
That's what we need. Something like that.
What Tom's saying is right, because, and Chris, there's a fine art to getting a football song going. There's not singing 24/7. They're singing at the right time. There's no point fucking the ball's getting passed about in middle of the park and then you're going absolutely bananas. What is the point in that?
That's when you start booing because the football's boring.
Yeah, but that is it. Like Wembley. I hate Wembley. I'm not showing off. I've been too many times now, and I always say I'm never going again, and I always go. But I liked it when it was a shit place in London that we were never going to see.
Yeah.
To go to your point, Chris, there, sorry, Dan, just the bit where you said where the football's boring, would you lads agree with me? The football City play does have a part to play with it, because we are very possession-type playing.
Mm.
When we're just passing the ball on the back line, that's not gearing us up, is it?
No.
Do you reckon that's a major factor to the atmosphere?
I think part of it as well, Dan, for me, is the fact that every single one of us now goes to a match and expects a result.
Yeah.
I think you'd agree. I remember it didn't matter whether we were favourites or not. When I was younger, we used to go to the match thinking, "Oh shit, are we gonna balls this up?" Because we were, we'd do a City. We'd stuff up. We were favourites to beat Wigan and fluffed it up.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. Unless we're playing Wigan in the cup now, it never seems to happen. You just go to a game, and even when we lose, we think, "Oh well, that was weird." There's no underdogness to us anymore. Yeah. And I think that on that side of it, fans used to get quite irate. We'd proper get behind the club and show that aggression. And I think that's lacking a bit now.
Well, that goes back to my point where I said I think the success has hampered it a bit as well. Like you said, we expect it, don't we? And yeah. I think we'll be more pissed off if we get a draw nowadays. Go back 15 years ago, a draw against anybody, it's a point on the table. I'm happy with that.
Mm.
It's funny, isn't it? We were winning when we're winning 3-0, and City are passing it back the back line with 10 minutes left to go. This is when everyone stands up and starts leaving the stadium. The atmosphere is flat. There's just nothing to shout for, nothing to scream for.
15 years ago, everyone would be cheering every single pass and taking the piss. Like, "Shall we score a goal for you?"
Yeah.
That's what we'd be chanting. Don't get that anymore.
But I'd never leave early. Win, lose or draw, it could be getting absolutely battered. Do you know when Liverpool proper turned us over at our place? I think it was 4-0 or 4-1.
Yeah.
Firmino scored and that. And the Etihad was just empty. And I was just sat there and I thought, this was normal. I used to come and think, hopefully Liverpool or Man U don't score 6. That was the expectation, wasn't it?
I can't stand people that leave early. I mean, I'll hold my hands up. At Wembley in '99, me and my dad, 2-0 down. My leg was still bleeding from when I fell going to the ground. We left early. And by the time we'd scored the second goal, we ran back in. And from that moment on, I will never leave early. And I think any City fan that leaves a game early clearly doesn't know the club. Because if you'd have left early, you wouldn't have seen Aguero score 93-20. You'd have missed that.
You wouldn't leave, would you, Chris? There's too much at stake there. Listen, pal, I've left. I've left games early. I've left games early. Night matches. I live an hour away. I live an hour and a half away from the ground. That's if I was to drive it now, I'd get there in an hour and a half. On a match day, that could be 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
2.5, 3 hours.
On a night match, when I've got kids and they work the next day, sometimes, mate, even a couple of minutes, leave it dead on the 90th minute or the 91st minute. That 2 minutes, I tell you what, that 2 minutes guarantees me getting home an hour and a half quicker. It's a long thing when you got work the next day, mate.
Yeah, I get that, Tom, and I'm not.
Don't get me wrong. If we lose, if it's drawing or losing, I never leave. If we're winning 3-0,
yeah,
you'll go.
I'm not slating a fan like you who's leaving a League Cup match against Notts County when it's 3-0 up. I mean, like I go to a match with this kid, right, and it could be a Saturday at 3:00, and we sit and bear in mind we're on a minibus. We could be winning 6-0, and he'll still leave 5-10 minutes early, and he's got to wait for us to get back to the bus anyway.
Oh.
So what's he leaving for? That is absolute gospel. Yeah.
Especially if the bus isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, well, he's got to wait for me to get some beer. Well, I have a pint, and then I get some beers on the way home.
That's the same with me and my stepdad, though. We obviously live in York, and we tend to set off about 4:00 on a weeknight. And we get
just
there
to sneak over the border.
Oh, God, yeah, just about. When the game's finished, I'm one of them. I don't like leaving the games. He'd love to get. He's the driver. My car won't get me out of York without breaking down. He can drive wherever he wants. But he's always like, should we get off? Should we get off? I'm like, I know, we still ain't gone yet. There's only a minute left. We're gonna a minute. And El Aguero did something in that minute. Remember, I wouldn't leave. You will halfway walk out.
That's just the Yorkshireman in you. You just want every penny's worth of the match. That's all that
is. There's exceptions to that rule, and I didn't want it to come across like I was slagging people off because I do understand. But like that Liverpool game, I think it was early kick-off, and we're getting tanked, so people are leaving. I don't like that. I just that's my personal thing anyway.
No, I agree.
I think it's different midweek when it's, like you said, when it's a midweek match, especially if it's been on telly. Yeah. So it's an 8:00 kickoff to start with. You can understand people leaving at night. That's fair cop. But to me, I think if it's weekend matches or a massive game, but then again, there's very few massive games. Like you said, the last game of the season, it's never a night match anyway, is it?
No.
So.
Let's just have a rethink here about what we've talked about. What I would like to do is between the four of us, if this was a Lego set, right? We've all got a piece each, and we're going to make the perfect stadium. Everything that comes with it. What would you want to take from both stadiums to make the perfect stadium? Dan, we'll start with you. What would you want to take?
I think I'd go with the. I know we're on about Main Road Etihad, but I always think a stand like Dortmund's got, just one massive tier, that's your singing bit, it's massive, that would get everybody going, and I think that's what my idea is with the one south stand being the singing section. But I think that's the way forward, is trying to get everybody into one bit.
So like what Dortmund have got, the wall?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah, I like that. What about you, Dan? The other Dan?
If I'm honest, I don't know. I'd be the stick up my ass type person. I'd ban bloody mobile phones. That's it's the amount. Like I say, the amount of fans I've sat next to that are Facebook streaming the match. It's against club policy. There was a steward. One lad sat next to me was filming the whole game. Steward came, put your phone down. We've got cameras watching you. We know who you are. Put the phone down. He goes, "Oh, I'm not doing it." Put his phone down. As soon as he walked off, got it back up again. And he's talking to people on Facebook Live. So if it were me, I'd ban mobile phones. Cameras, fine. You can't record. We've taken a picture.
Let's take positives.
Okay.
What we're creating is the ultimate stadium. You can't ban mobile phones, can you?
No.
That's not gonna happen.
Safe standing, Dan?
Oh God, yes, safe standing. Yeah. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, just one end of the stands, primarily the away fan way end, just safe stand that, because away fans, home fans having a go at each other, bouncing, what have you. Yeah, the stewards are going to be bricking themselves in the middle, but who cares? It will just get the stadium bouncing. So yeah,
Cool.
stay standing.
Chris?
To
laugh.
me, yeah, the laugh. To me, I'd keep the south stand and the north stand. I'd scrap the Colin Bell and the main stand, and I would just have 2 replica kip axes built. Because again, the kip axe, if you saw Main Road, it was the kip axe.
Yeah,
kip axe was the tallest stand in the country at one point, and it was phenomenal. And you had the bloody big hawk hanging off the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was the kip axe, and you had the king of the kip axe. Everything was about the kip axe. You've got 2 of them running down the side of the pitch. I'd be happy.
I think the giveaways I'd take are I'd take the family atmosphere from Main Road, but I'd also move the away fans away from the pitch. If it's all possible.
Yeah.
Give them tickets to sit outside the stadium.
I was going to say, we've got City Square, so you can have 6,000 away fans. You could sit there, watch it on telly.
Given the reserve.
There you go.
Reserve
You've got your own bars, you got everything. Or even better, if you instead of you got the reserve stadium, just fill that with the away fans and a big screen sorted. Sit in the corner. think about your lives. You could just turn it into a giant mirror at half time for them, and they can just sit and look at what they've done. Look at the shit they're wearing.
I've got one more to add.
Go on.
I went touched on it, and I wish I did now, but I've just thought of it. Get rid of all this corporate shit.
Definitely.
That is another massive factor.
No more suits.
At Etihad, both Colin Bell and fucking East Stand.
Yeah.
Most of the middle tier is all corporate. Just get that.
It's all those posh seats as well, the comfy seats.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Put
crap.
them on the top tiers of the Colin Bell and East Stand. So if nobody sat there, you can't see it on telly. You can't. It doesn't disturb. Like I was lucky enough to sit in one of them recently. Nobody sings. Nobody's a proper fan who goes every week. Well, I'm saying that. Everybody I was sat with never been before. There's a guy who told me it cost him like $2,000 to take him and his son. They've just flown over from Abu Dhabi. I'm like, what are you doing here?
Get rid of the suits and bring back the full kit wankers. That's what we need. I'd quite happily launch that campaign. Well, if I can squeeze into some shirt,
that campaign.
I'll squeeze into a shirt and socks.
Only if it's as tight as Dan Halifax is before we go.
That's what you want. That's what you'll get. There we go. But you make a good point. I mean, it's just if you watch any cup final or any international match at Wembley, how depressing is it, especially after half time when the game kicks off and there's just that empty section? It's crap. It's proper depressing because you just look then and think, look at all those fans who were there, either on a works do for free, or they paid a fortune because they've come on holiday, and it's like, I went to the Etihad and watched Manchester City. Oh, no, sod off. If you want that, piss off across the pond, go to Stretford and go with the prawn sandwich brigade and watch that shite.
But when we touch on Wembley, then I know this is about our stadium, but Wembley semi-final against Man United, bottom tier City, top tier City, middle tier rags because it was corporate. What the fuck was that about?
Yeah, it was crap. Bless them. We won though anyway, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, I know.
Good old yeah. Has anyone got any more points to make before we make a close for it?
No, I'll be good.
We're good.
Just to mention
the stadium now, don't we?
I'll behave.
Yeah.
I think what about just the name of it as well, the Etihad? I know we're sponsored by Etihad and it's across our football shirts, but other than being a sponsor, I mean, could you imagine Main Road? So you went to Main Road in the mid-90s and all of a sudden it's called the Brother Stadium. And then it's the Eidos Stadium.
I get what you're saying, but I do think the Etihad's got a bit of a ring to it. I think it's a decent
I thought
name,
Eastlands. That had a ring to it. That's what it was not, but it was the City of Manchester Stadium. People didn't call it the City of Manchester Stadium unless it was on
Called it Eastland.
Match of the Day. Everyone said, "Oh, we're over at Eastlands."
Mm.
I'm not
They
gonna
called
lie,
it the
I
Etihad
still
just
call
'cause
it Eastern.
There's the money. Yeah.
Yeah, one problem you've got is with the greater the player that plays for us comes the wage bill, comes the expensive full kits, comes the name, the changing of the name. And let's face it, we're sitting in this cash appeal at the moment because of Etihad and everything that's come with it from them financially. So, you know, we wouldn't be able to have the players and watch the team we've got now unless the finances were being pumped in from somewhere. I'd gladly have the name the Etihad.
Yeah, and it could be worse. It could be Sports Director Arena, or whatever it's called.
The DW or
Very
Bet365
University
Stadium.
of Bolton.
Right, I think we'll leave it as that, shall we, lads?
Yeah, sound.
Just
enjoyed that.
Quick reminder for everybody watching. Obviously, we are streaming this on Facebook Live as well as YouTube. If you care to go to YouTube, you can subscribe and get all our latest videos there, as well as some cracking interviews with ex-players that we've done as well. If you'll be listening to this on a podcast, if you're not sure what a podcast is, download your local podcast receiver on your phone and search the Manchester is Blue Show. Give us a like and a comment on there, and you can give us a review on there as well. But yeah, no, lovely to talk to everybody as always. Lads, we'll speak to you very soon, won't we?
See you later.
Stay safe, everybody.
Stay safe.